I do think there's been this sort of divide on the ideology of what these the workers at some of these companies believe, and you're seeing that right here, and particularly, let's say, some of the employees that protested against Google and some of these walkouts,
right,
or GitHub and Microsoft. So I could see total pushback from the rank and file in other companies.
Although
sure.
I thought it was interesting that you said that you think Palantir's mentality or some of the issues that Karp described is actually more common in Silicon Valley than you might think. Tell me about that, and if you think that is growing stronger, that, because this is going to have a lot to do with how tech responds to charges about the way it polices speech, how it should be regulated, whether it shares the rest of the country's values, and so on.
No, 100%. I do really. So there's a persistent strain of thought, ideology. I think it's, Silicon Valley has always had sort of a libertarian bent. But I think there are some thought leaders in the Valley like Paul Graham, who's formerly of Y Combinator, Kiefer Boys, a venture capitalist, and a number of other folks who have pretty, I guess I would say, conservative views compared to what is normally thought of as left-leaning Silicon Valley democratic attitudes. And that is growing, at least over the past few, let's say, year or two. It's growing as a more vocal contingent, and they're talking to younger software engineers. And this idea of nationalism in tech that, you were talking about not working with the Chinese government earlier, that's becoming a stronger theme too. Facebook won't work with the Chinese government and is sort of is drawing a line in the sand there. So I do think this idea of like nationalism and libertarianism is kind of intersecting in a very interesting way. And Palantir seems to represent all of that.
Final question is what it means for the rest of big tech and the tech community. This does happen at a time when many are looking to perhaps allow their workforces to live and work in different parts of the country. Do you think that would be reflected with a broader kind of diversity of points of view, even in the way in which a company like Facebook, for example, might choose what appears in its algorithms on its platforms, or not? I mean, is it a change that actually won't affect the way that most of these companies operate?
No, it's a great question. Right now, I mean, I literally just moved into a new place a week ago because everyone in the Bay Area right now is moving out of the city, and the economic makeup, the sort of housing makeup of Silicon Valley and San Francisco is changing so quickly. I can't even tell you how many people are flooding out of the city to other states, other parts of the country where they can use these tech salaries and live like kings. And I think that's really, I think you're exactly right. The sort of makeup of who works at these companies, what different sort of viewpoints and attitudes inside these companies is probably going to change in this post working from the office environment. And it's going to be hard to see things going back to normal, at least as folks sort of realize they don't have to spend $5,000 a month to live in a cube inside of San Francisco. They can go live in any other parts of the country and do it well. So right. I think you're right.